Everyone, Phil Gallagher of Thraben University here. Today we are playing with something special. That's okay, Overvoltage. You don't need to know what Ren and 6 does anymore. Alright, so today we are playing with Mono Black Asterisk Stompy. Alright, so it's Stompy. So Chrome Mox, Lotus Petals, Chalice of the Void, Trinispheres, Karns. We're used to that. However, the rest of the cards in the deck, these are the We Have a Reader cards. So here we go. Here's the threat package. Curse of Misfortunes. Essentially, at the beginning of your upkeep, you can search for a curse and put it into play, as long as it doesn't have the same name as a curse that's already attached to them. You use this to first get Overwhelming Splendor. So, all their creatures are 1/1s, and they can't activate abilities that aren't mana abilities or loyalty abilities. Step 2, you get Curse of Death's Hold. All their creatures were 1/1s, now all their creatures are dead. Step 3, get Curse of Fool's Wisdom. Whenever they draw a card, they lose 2, and you gain 2. So, it is a slow bleed where you don't get to do everything, all your things are dead, and don't worry, I'll wait 10 turns until you are dead. But that's not enough to win the game with, surely. Oh, don't you worry, we've got something else special over here. Little planeswalker for you. So, next up, Sorin Imperious Bloodlord. The first two abilities technically do things. We're going to ignore those. -3. You may put a vampire creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. We are playing a 6/6 flying life-linking vampire. That, we can reveal it from our opening hand. If we do, we drain 3. So the idea is that this is a show and tell that I can cast off an Ancient Tomb specifically for Chancellor of the Dross. No Liliana of the Veil in this deck. It's black, right? And we're this like Ancient Tomb City of Traders deck. Unless you're talking about Leyline of the Void. We've got that over here. So in the sideboard, essentially, most of our sideboard is a Karn package. So we have the typical liquid metal coating, 1 bridge, 1 lattice, and a couple other assorted targets. We have Sorcerous Spyglasses for planeswalkers, which are not handled by Overwhelming Splendor. Then we have some Graveyard Hate cards and a couple of flexible cards. We have a board wipe or 2, as well as a couple of pieces of discard. This deck is a brew by Orim. I believe it is Orim. Is it 67 or 76? I should know this. 67? I'm gonna get this right. Orim67 on Twitter. They always have like awesome deck lists. Oftentimes combo, sometimes Chalice, sometimes a little bit of everything else. It currently has a 100% win rate. That is, Orim played 1 league with the deck, 5-0'd, and said, alright, I'm retiring this one while I'm running hot. This was a donation goal for the stream, since we got a bunch of subs last time around, including a bunch of gifted subs, so I hope you all enjoy this. So our sub goal for tonight, if we get 3 goals, is that I will stream again tomorrow night. So, if you're on the fence about subbing, just consider you get more Phil content, if you do. Additionally, I have a little request for some of my regulars here, and I'm going to be posting this in the chat from time to time. I'm going to be taking some new donation goals pretty frequently here, so if you all are regularly enjoying my content, please take 20 seconds and vote on that poll and tell me what sort of decks you want to see as stream rewards. YouTube folks, I'll post the link down there for you all in the description. Black Stompy, here we go. Let's see how quickly we can go and incinerate some play points. Yeah, I'm super excited to see where the poll goes. I asked the Leaving a Legacy group, because they're pretty great, about giving some feedback. I asked them what all they wanted to see, and they gave me a bunch of the ideas, so I put them together into a poll, with a couple others I thought of. Oh. Ooh, we are playing against recent tournaments. I haven't played in any recent tournaments. Reveal Chancellor of the Dross, double Lotus Petal Ensnaring Bridge. Don't think that's quite enough oomph. We're gonna mull this one. This hand looks great. I think we're just gonna get rid of our pseudo show and tell because this card doesn't actually do anything on its own, right? Like you need a vampire or another creature in play for this to do something. So we'll pitch that here. Really hoping our opponent is on a combo deck. We can bully the ever-loving crap out of a combo deck with this hand. Speaking of, if this is for depths, we have a great hand. We can Chalice on 1 into Ensnaring Bridge. But this could just as easily be like Eldrazi, White Eldrazi, Maverick. Like, there's a lot of possibilities here. Ayabugan. Alright, we are playing against Eldrazi. If we don't get Thought-Knot Seared on turn 2, this hand is still very good. Nope. Post? It's probably Post. It's looking like this is mono green Post of some. I just got rid of you. Sorry, finishing that thought. This is probably a mono green, like Cloud Post, Elvish Rejuvenator sort of deck. A lot of Chalice of the Voids. We're not just going to play 1 on 0 yet. They probably have 0 or very few 4-drops. That's probably not the direction I need to be going here. Our opponent's going Swamp. What? Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Hello, Orim. I'm playing your monster. We're going to see if we can ruin its perfect undefeated record. That is a lot of chalices. So I guess we put 1 on 2. I'm just going to confirm I don't have any 2-drops main deck. I don't. Do I have a 2-drop in the sideboard that I'd like to cast? Potentially Liquid Metal Coating. What 2-drops am I actually stopping, though, if I play this? I might not actually be stopping anything by chalicing on 2. So I'm stopping Hardcast Once Upon a Time. Potentially something weird like a Sylvan Library. We're missing the Karn in the first place. And if we get Karn, we can potentially just Lattice win instead. So I'm going to go ahead and go for this. You probably don't need to respond to that. Just saying, you could wait. And I think I'll just pass the turn here. It's possible I should double play out Chalice on 0 so that if my opponent puts a land into the graveyard via something like a Crop Rot or something, they can't dome me for 3. I think I'm okay with that. Yeah. I'll talk about this at the end of the stream, but I think you can take the shell that you have here and adjust it in a slightly different way and end up with a more stable deck. But I'm not going to start talking about that until I actually have some games under my belt, and I can talk with at least some degree of authority. Oh, that seems like a problem. Are we just going to play Distraction, Soren? Seems kind of bad. Yeah, Leyline Helm was my first thought. Like, get those into the main deck. Like, play 4 Leyline main, 3 Helms main, 1 Helm sideboard. So I think potentially making my opponent use Walking Ballista counters to kill this is good. Note that we have 2 different plus modes on this, and we have to do the Vampire plus one. We can't do the target creature one, because it's not an up to target. It's just target. No, you play 4 Chalice main in any deck that's playing Ancient Tomb and Chalices. You don't want to tutor for a Chalice. Well, that's bad. At this point, I expect the combination of Walking Ballista plus this amount of mana plus Eye of Ugin is just going to leave me very dead. Gah. Okay. 5 mana for a Golos too? Just like top it off with a little cherry over there? Yeah, now that I know what I'm playing against, like, we can't go long versus this deck. I need to just plan on killing this deck quickly. So a Sorin plus Chancellor opener or a quick Karn is pretty important. I'm going to plus on this. I'm only actually probably going to take 1 more point of damage for holding this Sorin in hand. So I am going to do so to give myself the, like, backdoor out of drawing a Chancellor and my opponent randomly deciding not to do something cool with their Eye of Ugin. That's a lot of asks, though. No, I miss the Roanoke area, but I will not be returning. My new job is wonderful, and a much better fit for me than in Roanoke. Ah, you would like to remove my ensnaring bridge, would you? That is a shame. All right. We're not gonna make them play that out. They get to like Eye of Ugin and cast another like giant fatty immediately. Okay, so what do we have versus this deck? So like this and probably one of these need to stay in the sideboard, and this needs to stay in the sideboard too. So we really only have Spyglass and him that we can consider boarding in. Our Chalice on 1 is actually fine. It will stop some things that interact with us. Trinisphere is significantly less good, though, because my opponent can go wide of that pretty quickly. So I'm probably going to do something like this. I'm going to take like a quick look, but like the Massacre, the ley lines aren't doing anything. Walking Ballista isn't that strong. I think we're going to open up like this. So note, I'm super happy to be playing a Leyline of the Void deck. I think Leyline of the Void is one of the best sideboard cards in Legacy right now. Like, it's normally very good because there's Reanimator and such running around, but it's very good against all of the Breach Storm decks that are coming out right now. Alright, what does this hand do? Stone Cold nothing. This is a mulligan. We can make an Ensnaring Bridge, but this overwhelming Splendor in hand is very bad, and we actually can't get up to Curse of Misfortune's mana with this hand. So I think I'm going to ship this one as well. Why? Why? A 4-card opening hand is going to be rough, but a 4-card opening hand still has the possibility of, like, Swamp Ancient Tomb Sorin Chancellor, or, like, Ancient Tomb City Karn, one other card. So I think I'm going to ship this as well. Yikes. I will keep 4 of these. I think this is probably the point where I just have to accept. You think go to 3? Like, this hand at least gives me the possibility of draw a land on turn 2 or 3 to get turn 4 Curse of Misfortune, or draw Lotus Petal or Chrome Mox to get it earlier. Norel, thank you very much for subscribing. You are our first of 3 subs for tonight, so I really do appreciate the support. Just drop. Gotta commit. Steven? All in, YOLO. I mean, if we only keep 4 of these, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm just keeping Curse of Misfortune. Alright, I'll YOLO. Alright, so this YOLO hand has Karn, but doesn't do anything. We've made a terrible mistake. Mulligan. Keep. No. 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 We have to keep 2 of these? No. No. Done. Hey, if I win this game, do I get to post it to Reddit and say I won on a mold to 2? I think that's what gets to happen. Opponent wastelands me, they are a coward. Total coward. Fearful of playing Magic. Not at all a wise and smart person for taking advantage of a crippled opponent. Got him. GG. Bridge 0 cards assembled on turn 2. Oh, man, opponent's hand is sweet. So they get to untap one of their cloud posts, have 2 mana, do something else. 2 mana, Candle, retap, 2 mana, Candle, Pithing Needle. Sir and or madam, don't do it. Don't Pithing Needle my Karn the Great Creator. That's okay. Now I'm going to top deck Sorin into Chancellor. Oh my god. Chat, we're going to do it. We're going to win on this here Mold to 2. Then we'll sit down and calculate the probability of drawing Swamp into Sorin into Chancellor. What's the worst that can happen when my opponent has 12 mana? Rude. So opponent, I think you're also supposed to cast the Chalice for 0 because it shuts off my, yeah, good. It shuts off my Lotus Petals and Chrome Moxen. Ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Almost auto-yielded through the turn and didn't give myself the opportunity to find a vampire. Note that playing a second bridge out is bad if my opponent has an Olamog and they get to exile both of them at once. But I think in respect of my own hand size and my mana in future turns, I have to play this out now. Yeah, man, I knew when I picked this deck for tonight that I was going to have a lot of fun one way or another. Uh-oh. Golos finds Eye of Ugin. Eye of Ugin finds Ulamog. Ulamog says, GG, you fool. I don't think their build has Spirit Guides. So 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. So they could cast a 6 mana Eldrazi. They can also use Eye of Ugin. Oh, well, that's pretty good too. They can also just use Eye of Ugin to fetch another Golos and cast that. Okay, my version that was similar did not have Spirit Guides. Okay, so what happens here is my opponent, end of turn, tutors up, Olamog, double gets my bridge and kills me. Womp womp. But that's okay. Like, we expected to lose on the Molda 2. We had our chance to do it. Like, I'm going to pretend it might have been a game if we put that Chancellor into play. Like, here in my mind. Alright, so what are we doing? Is this turn 2 Curse of Misfortunes? Oh, that's super good. So we just go, like, turn 1 Swamp, turn 2 Ancient Tomb, Imprint, Chrome Mox. Yeah. Like, we're good with this. Alright, I guess we don't have guaranteed yet, right? Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4 mana guaranteed. We need any black card as a draw step to get turn 2 Curse. But I think we snap this one off. Yeah, like, basically anything is a good top deck with this, right? I also don't think that I put the Chancellor under Chrome Mox yet, in case we draw Sorin turn 2. So I'm just going to play Swamp and pass. My confused opponent is probably like, what's going on over there? That's not a Griselbrand at all. Uh-oh. That's okay. We live in fear of Dark Rich Plateau? Okay. So this is probably the blue, white, red breach deck with silence. That's a little bit of a kick in the teeth deck, but that's okay. We're going to enchant you. Our curse lost out on a lot of power with us losing Overwhelming Splendor there. But more generally, the curses aren't great against my opponent's deck. And we might just be dead anyway. We beat goblins. Oh, hold up. Echo? Are we echoing? I am all about getting 7 new cards. Yo, my hand's good now. Can you kill me? Like, Karn is insane against this deck. Chalice is insane against this deck. We get a... Is it curse? Let's be real, I don't know the name of the curses. But we get a curse that says whenever they draw a card, they take damage. And we gain life. That will be insanely powerful against them. Oh my god, it's just empty the Warrens as of right now. Oh my gosh. If they just empty for an absurdly large number, I just win. Because I get to shrink all of their gobos. Oh man. So I hope you all are enjoying yourself as much as I am here. This is 2020 Legacy at its finest. Hey Romario, you're hopefully just in time to watch me murder a giant pile of goblins. You've activated my trap card! Mono Black Stompy, confirmed better than Breach. You saw it here first. Yes. Curse of Death's Hold. Delicious. Delicious. This is some sadistic glee right here. Mmm. Mmm. Alright. What do we want? Ley lines. Yes. Him. Yes. Massacre? Maybe. Bridge? Bridge is pretty questionable. It's like good against goblins, but like, do we want to rely on actually getting Hellbent quickly enough to beat goblins? I think the answer is no. So I think we'll probably go bridges out. Some amount of our Soren stuff can probably just go. Thank you for the bits. I feel like we earned them through skillful play. Does Overwhelming Splendor actually do anything? So, like, this is the card we want in a vacuum because of the combo of Curse with Deathhold, but they just have mana abilities and fetches. Hey, hey, welcome. So I kind of lean towards we can actually cut that. And we're just, like, planning on searching up Curse of Fool's Wisdom as our win condition, and Curse of Deathhold as our way to beat goblins. From there, we would need to cut 4 cards, and it's probably some amount of the Soren package. So if worst comes to worst, this is, like, technically a hard castable threat. It's kind of weird. Because, like, every one of either of these that I cut makes the others worse. So I could just do something like this and just play Walking Ballista as a 1/1 or 2/2 that can ping. Karn is insane against their deck. Its static ability shuts off like LED and all of that stuff. Beautiful. Beautiful hand. Sneep. Oh god. This, you may not like it, but this is peak Legacy right here. This is what it looks like. Deck confirmed amazing. If you're looking to beat Breach combo, this is how you do it. Jacquel Ope, question mark? Thank you very much for following. And Shoop, thank you very much for the bits. Yeah, if nothing else, this deck is going to produce some crazy clips. Yeah, Cherryman, if we end up going through this stream in like an hour, I'll play it again with Leyline and Helms in the main deck over the Soren and Chancellor package. Pew, 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 pew. Had an extended discussion today with a handful of people on Twitter about how good Leyline is right now. This is a keep. But it's an interesting keep. Because you could make an argument for, I want to play City of Traders on 1 into City of Traders on 2 into Karn. Instead, I'm going to try to go 3-ball into Karn, though. This is Legacy. Legacy at its finest. This deck's beautiful. Against Island, turn 2 Trin... Ooh. A decision tree presents itself. I think I'm supposed to Chalice off of basic Swamp. You use that as the bait spell to make it more likely that you resolve Trinisphere to make it more likely that you resolve Karn. So if Trinisphere resolves here, it's better than Chalice resolving, but if my opponent has a Force, getting it out and then resolving the Trinisphere is probably way better for me. Playing the Chalice this turn also means that I'm going to have better mana for the rest of the game, because I'm not going to lose a city next turn. Nice, and here's exactly what we were just talking about. I'm less inclined to think that my opponent is a Daze deck than like a Force of Will, Force of Negation deck with that opener, but it is ambiguous. Oh man, we have so much mana. I think I'm supposed to Karn. It's real close, though. Because if I Karn this turn, I can just minus and get Mycosynth Lattice next turn. And have the lock if my opponent doesn't present a creature or counter Karn. But I can do the same thing by slowing my roll with Trinisphere. It just gives my opponent more time to find a creature. So life's weird. They pitched a creature. So if they just play like Oko this turn, it unravels my plans a little bit. I think I'm going to take the turn off to Trinisphere. I think in the cases where something goes wrong, this is going to be better. And if my opponent taps out for Oko, then I do just get to resolve my Karn. And I can do something like Karn plus on my Trinisphere to protect it, and then go for a Lattice kill or something. Like, I'm going to open up a lot of lines for myself. Unfortunately, since the Trinisphere exists, I'm not going to open up Karn into Spyglass for Oko. Mentor. Another Karn. So Karn number 1 probably goes and gets us a bridge. And Karn number 2 probably tries to win via Lattice. I'm aware, but we can't do that quickly because of Trinisphere. Actually, yeah, getting Ballista isn't crazy. We know Karn on Mox doesn't produce mana. It empties your hand towards the Ensnaring Bridge. So this is sort of an interesting little trap for our opponent here, right? So my opponent can't kill the Karn this turn unless they play a spell on their turn to give the Mentor Prowess. But if they give the Mentor Prowess, then that means I get to resolve something big and scary, like walking Ballista for X equals 3 on my turn. See you, Steven. Have a great rest of the night. And Multiverse, if you're enjoying the content, that's basically good enough for me, right? So this seems like a great starting point. It will cost me one more mana, unfortunately. Which makes the turn a little bit less good. Opponent is on 6. Hey, you got real aggressive with that library. If this chalice resolves, I'll totally crash in with Trinisphere. How weird can I get here? So I can plus Trinisphere, attack with Trinisphere. Use that to play a new Karn with higher loyalty? No, that seems bad. Hmm. So, like, any turn where they tap out, I just threaten to kill them basically instantly with Ballista. So I guess the question is, do I just want to plus on my Trinisphere and pass the turn? I think I want to cast Ballista for X equals 3 next turn. Royal Assassin, I'm timing you out for saying that decisions don't matter in Magic. Like, that's a losing mindset, and I really hate it when people say that your decisions don't matter when I'm clearly talking about, like, a super intricate set of decisions here. So that may be Chrome Mock's bait at some point in the future. Am I actually ahead if they have, like, a Force of Will or two? Like, real questions. The answer's probably no, right? So now again we're faced with a decision tree of do I just want to send 3 upstairs or do I just want to kill the mentor? We don't actually have that many ways to just deal points of damage, which is like really weird to say. So while with a normal deck it might be very easy to just like go upstairs and finish, like this is our main deck way to do damage. So I'm just gonna clear the board. We'll leave them with a monk, but then our Karn should be pretty fantastic. Yeah, fine and Andy, that's the upside of going upstairs, is that I could potentially get a Trinisphere Karn plus kill. Savine's Reclamation, get back Mentor. Well, ain't that spicy. That was not something I was playing around. Okay, so we can go 1, 2, 3. Chrome Mox, Imprint, Chancellor of the Dross. 1, 2, 3, Bridge. And then Karn the following turn. That seems quite good. You have to get used to the weird Chrome Mox Trinisphere math. We could Karn... We could Karn and attack with Trinisphere instead and put them to 2. I'm just going to bridge. But it's just like, it's one of those things that's worth noting. Man, I think I have friends who have, like, nightmares about that exact situation over voltage. Karn and not attacking is probably not great. Ah, this jerk. Looking to invalidate all the fun I'm having. That's actually a very bad sign for me. Because it represents my opponent having a force of will. I think we have to try it. Nope. I can just get a Spyglass to have an answer to Oko as of next turn. So opponent can Oko my bridge and then try to attack, but I have 2 idiots in the way then. I can't animate the bridge and and make that work. It's not like Oko. I need my opponent to do that for me. We're going to minus and get a spyglass, and then we'll sort of leave the ruining of the game to my opponent over there. I'm really hoping they don't have, like, another color in there. If they have black for, like, an abrupt decay on my bridge, yikes. Yikes, I say. So in current situation, this isn't all that bad. Yeah, that makes things worse. But opponent loses their mentor for doing this. Never mind. Trinisphere's off. JK. Life's bad. I talked about this a lot on Twitter today, but I think Legacy is the best it's been in a long time right now. Alright, so Karn is being attacked by both monk tokens, so it's 100% going to die. So we just have to take all that. We're hoping to draw a new bridge. Man, I need 1 mana. 1 mana. Murder. That's a pretty okay hand that probably results in me being dead. What do I get? Death Touch and Lifelink? So am I gonna block more than 3 damage? No, I'm probably going to block 3 damage. So my opponent casts 2 spells and I block 1. I'm sending this at their life total. Oh, great. That was kind of the best of both worlds. Like, they lost a monk and I gained 3 life. But if they can cast 1 more spell, I'm dead. Well, yeah, because they would Swords to Plowshares a monk that they make, not my creature. Yeah, that should do it, as long as my opponent knows to kill their own monk. Or do they already have it? 12, 16? No, they do need 1 more spell. So they just have to see Swords to Plowshares their own creature. Yeah, targeting a monk. Womp womp. That was a really interesting game. Alright, so my thought is Sorin package is probably bad. If we win these games, we're probably winning it via curses. So let's junk those to play some reasonable cards. Massacre for monks seems good. Let's keep these in a separate column. So Massacre for monks, at least 2 spyglasses. I'll probably play these hymns. I would need 2 more cards to fill. I guess I'll just play all 3 Sorcerer Spyglass and just intend on naming Oko if I draw it. It means that my Karn tutor package is kind of light, but these are the things that I'm going to get most frequently anyway. Yeah. One of my personal pet peeves is someone just, like, totally dismissing your play as a legacy player because of your deck selection. No, Karn's still insane. Like, Karn is going to be one of the primary ways that we win the game. Like, we're looking to win either via curses or via Mycosynth Lattice Lock. Yes. Speaking of decisions, do you just turn 1 Karn, or do you turn 2 Karn, or do you turn 2 Curse of Misfortune? I think you're supposed to go turn 1 Karn off Ancient Tomb and Lotus Petals, so that you can do turn 3 Curse of Misfortune if Karn gets countered. Yeah, YOLO has been called here, so now we have to do it. This is a 3 for 2 if we get Force of Willed. Aww. 3 for 2. That's okay. Our turn 3 is also a game-winning play. Assuming we don't draw our Overwhelming Splendor. Hello and welcome. This monstrosity is what we call fun around these parts. I think I'm supposed to Curse of Misfortunes this turn, because Karn is better next turn when I have more access to mana. Actually, is that true? I still have the Liquid Metal Coating in the sideboard, right? Yeah. So we still have Rashad and Port in the sideboard for next turn. Oh, man. Don't like Council's Judgment me. Let me have my fun. Ooh, and 3-ball? 2, 4, 6, 7 mana? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Man, that is a convenient amount right there. This is indeed what we call pod racing. I think we just start blowing up their lands, right? Or do I just, like, animate the Trainosphere and just bash them with it? No spyglasses, they're all boarded in. That's what kind of makes this weird. Oh, plus on food is actually kind of hilarious. Oh man, can they bounce my overwhelming splendor? Yo, hold up. Did they? I mean, I can just get Mycosynth Lattice and lock them out of the game here. Like, I just win. There's Trinisphere out even. It's just safe. That's why I paused. Like, I just realized they were dead. Alright, there we go. Easy. So again, you see how it can be kind of awkward if I board in all of the spyglasses? But I still think it's probably correct to do so. Yeah, this is, like, absolutely crazy. I'm having so much fun. So we have the overwhelming Splendor in our hand, which is super unfortunate. Because turn 1 Hymn to Turok is pretty sick. But having both of our best targets in hand makes this a very easy mulligan. This one I'll keep, I think. We can just pitch Chrome Box and play a nice fairish game. Haha, you've turned on my massacre. And I'm fine just jamming here. If my opponent has a Spell Pierce that they're holding up, like, so be it. But you don't play these decks to not, like, jam something on turn 1. Yeah, that is correct. Massacre gives us an out to the Mentors. It's super awkward. Like, Massacre Trinisphere is, like, ultimate non-bow. But otherwise, it's very good. Like, we're shutting off a lot of avenues of attack. Unfortunately, we can't pressure an Oko right now, and we don't have a real win condition yet. So, like, Oko just gets to make food and start smacking us. That is indeed an oof. So now, since these are going to be 3/3s, we give up on the previous plan. So the question is, do we just want to put the Massacre under Chrome Mox's turn, or do we want to play Ensnaring Bridge so my opponent elks it? If we put Massacre under Chrome Mox, we can probably go the rest of the game without tapping the Ancient Tomb. Which I think I like. We also have the hope that our opponent doesn't realize that we're at 14 and they start like trying to pick off some of our stuff instead of just like turning sideways elks. They've seen through the trap, unfortunately. That is unfortunate. That, on the other hand, is insane. No, I have not played Black-Red Painter. I played Green-Red Painter recently. Alright, so I guess I'm going to play Bridge first. And Bridge is the bait spell here. Because my opponent can only force one thing. Our board state wasn't really that good, if we're being honest. Alright, I just want to make sure everyone caught that. My opponent paid 3 mana to spell pierce through Trinisphere into my Chalice of the Void. Just saying, that was something that just occurred. So now we've shut off the Oko. This food doesn't matter because of our Ensnaring Bridge. My opponent has 1 dead card in hand. Really, their entire hand's dead. But they get Sylvan Library to dig them out of it. You're irrelevant right now. Interesting how much my opponent is valuing Snow-Covered Island here. I don't know what their dual land distribution looks like. Yeah, this was the fear. Teferi bouncing and Snaring Bridge means that I take 6 damage immediately. Oh, okay, that's even a better way to do it. So they now turn Ensnaring Bridge in... What? 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 Alright, idiot check me, right? Like, my opponent just turns this into a creature, bashes me for 6, I'm dead the following turn, basically no matter what. I guess they can counter this Spyglass somehow, and then it doesn't matter. Because they did choose to take an extra card with the Sylvan Library on their turn. Okay. I should probably play out this land. I just don't understand. Like, my opponent is probably going to get there anyway. But I think they're giving me more draw steps than I need here. So my opponent just... Well, they have a number of different ways to kill me this turn. They can pick a random mode on their Oko other than... Yeah, sure, okay. Alright. We'll concede there. Yeah, so like I don't think... Alright, let me clarify. Like, I don't mean to like crap on my opponent and their play here. But I think they had more elegant paths to victory than what they took. And I think there were a lot of draws, such as another bridge, a Karn, a Curse of Death's Hold, that made some of their play patterns very, very awkward. Yeah, so Oko is miserable to play against for decks like Black Stompy, Red Prison, D&T. Like, you're very much not well suited to fight that card. It's just a better rate than what you're doing, and it's very awkward for you. But Legacy is no longer just a pile of Okos. There are Oko decks around, but there's much more combo than there was 2 weeks ago. And so, because of that, you need to be lower to the ground and more interactive than where you were at previously. And so you can't just be the slightly bigger, dirtily Oko pile anymore. Like, you have to be low enough to the ground that you can interact with all these combo decks. Alright, so 2 things for you folks. Number 1, I just posted a link to a straw poll in the chat. If you would take a minute to fill that out and let me know what sort of decks you're most interested in seeing here on the stream, that would be appreciated. Number 2, I have a sub goal of tonight, and we are 1 of 3 subs towards having another stream tomorrow night. So, if you're on the fence about supporting my content, just keep in mind, there's more content tomorrow if you support it. Yeah, that's exactly it, you know. Why tap out for Oko if you can just win turn 1? Alright. Keep? Don't keep. Let's talk about the pros and cons. Pros. Chalice on 0, into Chalice on 1, into... Oh my god, look at the thing! Keep. We will need 1 land to do that, but I'm totally fine with this. Yeah! Got him. First Blood. Achievement unlock. We're playing against Sylvan Library again. Alright. Note opponent is down to 2 cards after Mulligans and Mox Diamond. I don't think I'm going to play around a second Mox Diamond off of Sylvan Library here. I think I would rather leave the back door of drawing a Lotus Petal to Sorin next turn, since my Chalice on 1 is bad. So I shut off 4 outs towards Sorin next turn. So I'm just going to play a Swamp and pass. That idiot. Alright. So, my opponent may just be playing a Loam deck. They also could be playing a Lands deck. If they are playing a Lands deck, they could have crop rotation in their deck. So I will go ahead and put a Chalice on one. We are a huge dog to win this match, though. And that's because Sorin into Chancellor is invalidated by Oko. And my opponent has a decently swift clock. Right, but given that I have 3 Chalices, I think it's pretty safe to play one of them. Alright, there's the confirmation that my opponent is on Loam. It costs us nothing to play another turn here. Yeah, the curses are safe, and the curses are very good. So the current plan is to go Curse of Misfortune into Overwhelming Splendor into Curse of Death's Hold before my opponent aggroes us out with Oko and Knights. Caligaro, yes, that's totally fine. Hey, remember when I didn't play Chalice on 0? Boy, that was smart. Alright. So let's Chrome Mox. The curse is how we are going to win. So I guess that means let's junk our Sorin. Let's play a bridge. Now I will double Chalice to get cards out of my hand. That limits the amount of damage that I can take from Knight of the Reliquary. So this stops my opponent from fetching to grow it pre-combat. So if we get lucky, we might prevent some damage this turn. When we're on the play, Chalice on 0 is pretty good. Just decay the bridge anyway. Make me suffer. So is that 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, go down to 6? Yeah. Decay was pretty good. Otherwise, like, we get Curse of Misfortune, but then we die. So we'll concede here. Alright, what do I want against 4-color Loam? Slash, what is my game plan to win? My game plan to win is probably the Curse engine. I think this is how I plan to win. One Tucky Fried Chicken, thank you very much for subscribing. You are my second of 3 subs for tonight to give us another stream tomorrow night. So, I don't think I want Trinispheres. And Chalice is questionable. Yeah, Chalice is fine on the play, pretty bad on the draw. So I like this to kill Bob. I don't hate hemming my opponent on turn 1. And it's okay turn 2 to bridge. Then the next question is, like, how many spyglasses do I want to board in? And that's really a reflection of what are we doing with our Karns. I think I either want to board in 1 or 2 spyglasses. So, like, I'll definitely board 1. The question is, like, is a second better than, say, this Chalice? And the second spyglass in actually might be better than that Chalice. I think I like that. Yeah, I will be looking for a powerful hand. You know, if this had a vampire in it, I would totally YOLO this hand because it would be fun. But this hand does nothing. It can make like a turn 1 Sorin or Ensnaring Bridge, but not do anything with it. Easy mulligan. Again, we don't have the possibility of a turn 1 or turn 2 play that actually super matters. Like, we can Chalice on 0, but that's like, whatever. I think I'm going to ship this one again. Alright, so we get 5 of these. So this hand can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pitch the Chrome Mox and the Hymn to Torok. And Chalice on 0 on turn 1. This hand is very strong. Our best hand by a lot. We're a little soft, but not overly soft to a turn 1 Wasteland. And we dodged that. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. We're going to take this opportunity to, I think, get the coding. Let's represent Sinkhole every turn for the rest of the game. Yeah, I hope Enchantress is one of the top choices. That would make me happy. Athalia. Oh! Oh, that's disappointing. That is a sad, sad draw. Bribe appreciated. I'll add it to the queue after this stream. Yeah, that is the classic draw Progenitus, all right. This also sucks. I still get to Sinkhole every turn. So, like, that's still fine. And that may be good enough to win on its own, especially if my opponent locks themselves behind their own Thalia. Arkin, thank you very much for the raid. Hello, hello, everyone who made it here from Arkin's stream. Phil Gallagher here for a ridiculous mono black deck with Overwhelming Splendor. So I need one more mana to get Curse of Misfortunes. I don't have a creature in the sideboard. I do have Ensnaring Bridge. Ensnaring Bridge isn't quite active yet, though. That's okay. We're just going to keep doing our thing. This is definitely going to be worth playing here. Especially if our opponent has Wasteland. Oh man, we're shutting off double Mox Diamond. Wonderful. What do you mean, no? Right. That doesn't shut off the mana abilities of Wasteland. I'm talking about my Karn. And I've already activated that. Yeah, we're good to go. We just want to keep them from knocking us off of actually casting Curse of Misfortune at some point. Genius! Utter genius! Sorry, I'm kind of proud of that. Alright, Karn, you did good work. Take a rest, little buddy. I bully everyone equally. That's what makes me not a hater. I will use Curse of Misfortune's ability. Would you look at what it is? It's a friend. I have a Lotus Petal. We're just a couple Lotus Petals away. I forgot about that. It doesn't matter. We're not a couple of Lotus Petals away from doing something cool. Nice. Alright. So whenever Enchanted player draws a card, they lose 2, and we gain 2. No, don't concede. I was having fun. I was having fun. Alright. So on the draw, our Chalice of the Voids are very bad because they get a chance to play Chrome Mox before I can do anything about it. Yes, I steal the fun from my opponent. Yeah, Goblin Lackey had a crazy great stream the other day. Well over 100 people and some very ridiculous games. So I guess I could go like... So this is awkward when I pull those chalices out, because I kind of want to leave a Spyglass in the board for all the Planeswalkers my opponent is playing. So I want to have these cards as my package, but that means that I'd probably either need to play Leyline or Massacre, or keep some chalices. But I don't particularly think Leyline is good against them as us, because it's either like we're locking them out, period, or we don't care about their creatures. And if I Leyline to shrink their knights, that means they actually have an easier time getting in under bridge. And Massacre basically just kills Bob. So life's awkward. I think I'm going to go with all the spyglasses in. No, I don't think I can do that. Alright, I don't like my draw configuration in this matchup. Fine and Andy, Massacre is not an out to Teague. Turn 2, Curse of Misfortune. Let's do it. Sneep. Always gotta have it if you want to play Loam. That is the rule. Alright, so I'm pausing here. The reason why I'm pausing is because if I draw any black card next turn, I could just play Swamp this turn and play around a Wasteland. That's tough. I don't think I'm going to play around that. So if I lose this Ancient Tomb, I still have 3, 4.5 mana in hand, so it's not the end of the world. So I'm going to sort of play around a Bob by putting this Ballista in play. Yep. Yo, deal. Deal. That's unfortunate. I was just about to talk about how my opponent had probably boarded out their chalices, since they were going to be poor in this matchup. But here we are. That is a beating. Yes, have to get the Curse of Misfortune into play before Overwhelming Splendor, which keeps getting stuck in my hand, comes to pay me a visit. Yeah, I missed a point of damage, fine and Andy. Boy, I wish I could imprint that. I am dead if my opponent chooses to Wasteland me, so I am not going to incentivize them to Wasteland me by playing out Bridge. So basically, the way that I win this game is by my opponent choosing to not wasteland me, and then I draw another soul land for curse. That's how I win this one. So I can't just empty my hand, play bridge, because then they can't attack, and they'll be incentivized to wasteland me. So I need to Ancient Tomb, pass, and hope that my opponent just smells blood in the water and just, like, hits me. This is still fine. Oh yes, just hit me. Just hit me. I mean, it's the out we have to play towards. So the opponent playing the Chalice of the Void didn't actually keep us off of Curse of Misfortune. Well, I guess it did, because we could have, like, imprinted the Massacre. So I guess my opponent keeping the Chalice when they were on the play ended up winning them the match. Note that I could not have played around that. Like, I could have played out my Lotus Petal on turn 1, but I could not have Chrome Moxed anything. That was rough. Or don't give me the uptime. 1 hour, 40 minutes. Okay. We've had a decent run. I mean, not in terms of results, but in terms of time. So I'll probably build an alternate version of this deck at the end of stream, but I probably won't run it through another league. Fine and Andy, thank you very much for all of that support. I really do appreciate it. That brings us to enough content where we will have a Tuesday night stream. Thank you for your support, good sir. All right, so let's see. So add Tuesday stream goal. Much appreciated. And Calgary, you just supported me in a different way by doing a donation deck list. Alright, so hey. So we are probably playing against like some sort of like Miracles-ish deck. We have turn 2 Trinisphere into nothing else after that. I'm going to think about this hand while I reply to him in chat about some Latin stuff. Yeah, I lean towards mulligan here. Nine you! Your turn. This hand does nothing, despite the fact that it's cool looking, and we get to put a lot of things on the stack. This I think I will keep. So I send that back. And then I have to send one more of these back. So the question is, how am I playing out this hand? I think it's turn 1, nothing. Turn 2, Trinisphere or Chalice. Turn 3, the other one. Hold Curse of Misfortunes until I draw a Soul Land. So I'm going to bottom the Chrome Mox. You can make an argument for going Chalice on 1 into Trinisphere. But I think for the game going long, as it is likely to do, you want to have the possibility of playing this as soon as possible. Yeah, and that's even a better draw for us. Ooh. Opponent was just F6'd. No counters. Whatever was happening was happening. Beautiful. So now we get to attempt Trinisphere into Curse of Misfortunes. Don't have actual factual counterspell. That's what it feels like. Oh, Dovin's Veto. Strong. Alright. Don't ruin my fun, Stefano. Boo! We'll try again later. But we'll probably have to draw Overwhelming Splendor first. I think I'm just going to hold those. I don't have a particularly strong reason to cast them yet. It also puts some fear in our opponent that we might be holding something like a Karn. I don't know how familiar he is with our current deck lists. Okay. That's a good turn for them. Alright, Splendor's on the bottom and we can't shuffle? Haha. Joke's on you. London Mulligan is overpowered. I think I played this. It's like close though because it's awkward with our Sorin combo, but I think we are trying to win this game via curses. That's a good Magic card. I don't like our chances, chat. I don't like our chances. This card does nothing. Stone cold nothing. But it gives us something to click on every turn. It's very bad against Jace, too. My opponent Mystic Sanctuary's back Council's Judgment, which I'm not really sure is necessary. But especially if you haven't seen this list before, I can understand just like wanting to get rid of this before shenanigans happens. The deck indeed could use some tinkering. Alright. So, Real questions. Do I just, like, exile my Ensnaring Bridge to give myself the backdoor out of, like, Sorin puts another creature in? I feel like the answer is yes. Daggers. Alright. Let's throw in the towel there. Alright, what do we have versus Miracles? Feels like this Sorin package needs to go. So that would be 8 cards. 4. My opponent's playing Mentor. Massacre's fine, but if they're not, it's not good. Our bridges also aren't great. In-out numbers for this deck, super sketch. So if I board out those 8 cards, I still need more. And, like, Ensnaring Bridge is questionable too. It can do some work for Oko, but, like, Oko invalidates it after a little while. I think we'll leave Lattice. But I could just, like, dampen the power of Mystic Sanctuary. And, like, these are black cards that imprint under Chrome Mox and also have some effect on the game. I think I'm even going to go one more bridge out for Massacre in case they play Mentor. And this card is just black. This is not exciting. And folds to an Oko. Or a Jace. But it has a bunch of reasonable cards for the matchup. And will set us up to be in good shape if we actually do resolve a curse. So I will keep this. I'm not thrilled about this. Like, I would much prefer a hand that can, like, turn 1 Chalice, turn 2 Karn, or something like that, but I think this is good enough. So, if we assume 1 or 2 of these gets countered, we still have something that sticks. That's interesting. We're going to leave off that decision for a turn, but we probably can't imprint this. We can imprint that if we need to. That's totally fine to imprint. If we imprint, we have to do it prior to 3-ball, or we lose a lot of value. The longer we wait on the 3-ball, the more likely it is that it resolves. But the 3-ball has the best impact when it's played early. And in all seriousness, if I draw a soul land, I will Chalice on 3. I mean, I'm enjoying the stream here. Oh no, our opponent disconnected. All right, let's do some talking about the deck while they work on getting back in the stream here. So I think this Soaring package is abysmal. So I think this should be 4 Leyline of the Void, 3 Helm of Obedience, and is there one other big curse we can play to round out the numbers? If not, then like maybe a Karn, the other 4-mana one. Not Silver Golem. I forget its name. Well, Chains and Engineered Plague aren't curses, right? Curse is a new subtype. I mean, yeah, Chains is dope. That's fair. Alright. While my opponent's taking the turn, let me Google Cruel Reality. No, they took their turn too fast. So I drew the Soul Land. Straight up, do I just Chalice on 3 to stop Oko from ruining all of my stuff? Because that feels like an awfully good idea. Can't call your shot and not take it. I'm with you, Fine and Andy. And you gifted a bunch of subs, so seems fair. This also stops, like, Council's Judgment from getting rid of curses later. It can stop some weird stuff that my opponent might be playing too, like Savine's Reclamation, or not weird, but like Mentor, Teferi, things of that nature. Enjoy your Snapcaster while it lasts. I am having so much fun right now. Okay, so note, don't cast this, or no, we can't cast this so CMC equals 3, but we can cast it for X equals 3. Because the CMC of this is actually 6. We're gonna get a nope on that one. Force of will. Yeah, that's fair. We'll hold that one for a rainy day. We can cast it at any time for the low price of 3 mana. We can now hardcast the Chancellor of the Dross that's in the sideboard. Yeah, we'll not Chrome Max that yet. We'll keep that as a reasonable person magic card. Our bridges are in the sideboard, so no hurry here. Yeah, a curse would be decent before our opponent finds Jace and ruins us. A second Chalice to put 1/1 would also be pretty ideal. How about we not cast our Trinisphere into the Chalice on 3? Let's save that. Chalice on 4 for Jace? That's mighty interesting. No, the Splendor's on the bottom of our deck, and we can't shuffle, right? Was that still this game? Hmm. All right. That is a good card. Is there a black card that makes you the Monarch? Because that would probably be fine in this deck. I'm going to cast without paying its mana cost. Thorn of the Black Rose. Yeah, sure. That could be a contender for this deck. So that seems like a weird use of Veil of Summer to me, because they could use that on their turn. Oh, never mind. No, still yes. Because they could use that on their turn to go and like destroy a chalice. They have another plan for it though, so like I guess that's fine. Opponent is gonna make 2/2 Elks. Turbojet Megachrist, thank you very much for the support. I hope you're enjoying this. I am having an absolute blast. Alright, what is opponent Mystic Sanctuary back? Seems like Force of Will is an easy one here. Return to Nature. That's a good safe choice as well. And they get that immediately. This deck is gas, as in fun. But I think the curses are good, but the Sorin package has been absolute hot garbage all night. Curse is gone. Elks are bigger. Mentor becomes a card again. GG has been called in the chat. Opponent's also the Monarch. What could go wrong? How could we possibly lose? Well, that's a good start. We could make a real big walking ballista if it wasn't already in the graveyard. Three mana Ashiok isn't crazy. Yeah, if you want a 5-0 with this deck, don't get paired against Oko. That's what we've learned tonight. And yeah, I was in agreement since before we started the stream that Leyline Helm should be in here. All right. We'll call it good there. GG, friend. GG. All right. So that was a fun night and well worth the price of admission. But let's talk deck building here. So I think there's about 12 cards that are problematic in this shell. Yes, I'll be happy to show off the donation queue. It's not necessarily ordered, but I have a list. Not Ancient Tombs. Ancient Tombs are great. Sorry, wrong card. Chromox is what I meant to grab there. All right. So here are the problems that I see. Number one, this deck is surprisingly colorless, as it is now. So what that means is the Chrome Mox often did not have a target, or we had to give up a target that was somewhat important to our strategy. So, for example, we cannot imprint a Curse of Misfortune in many cases. It's just too detrimental to our strategy for that to happen. So, because of that, the Chrome Moxen were often very awkward in this league, and I'm not sure what the solution to that is. Because you want a little bit extra fast mana to get to 5 mana for your finisher, whereas with something like Red Prison, a lot of your finishers are actually at 3 mana. So, and like 4 is usually your top end. Exclude that, because a more regular list looks something like this. But this blacklist is looking to go beyond that. So it may be that this deck needs to play a different acceleration package. So it could play more lands and play Mox Diamond. It could just play a couple of 2-mana mana rocks. You probably don't want to play Dark Ritual since you're a Chalice deck. Although I guess the Chalice portion of this could be argued, right? So you could go... I'm going to sort of spitball on the fly here. So like if we were to follow that route, you could cut Chalice of the Voids from the main deck. Or even just keep them and play them alongside Dark Ritual awkwardly, since the card's just so powerful. Like, you could cut this for 4 Ley Lines, 3 Helms, 4 Dark Rituals, and then play some more stuff that's just fair and goes with it. I don't know. I don't know how we designed this deck to beat Oko. Like, with Red Prison, you can often power through just because you have so many powerful cards. But this is a really dirtily shell. So, like, we're relying on 4 and 5 drops surviving for multiple turns. So, the Spyglasses that we're bringing in are good against it, but we're a huge dog to Oko game 1. So, we can go 4 Leyline, 3 Helm, like 2 Spyglass, and like 2 more mana producers. The Elder Spell. Is that just destroy a Planeswalker for 2 mana? Am I remembering the text correctly? Sorry, any number of target Planeswalkers. Yeah, that's not bad. Without Chrome Mox, though, I feel like we're clunky. Yeah, so I think the next step forward is definitely, like, shove Leyline Helm into this. But how do you make it better from there? Like, are we going storage land levels of deep here to try to help bridge the gap to 5? Are we going, I'm just going to play more Karns? Are we going to drag the game on via Tanglewire for a while? No, I don't think you want to always rely on Karn. Because if you do that, then Karn getting Revokered or Spyglassed or Needled is devastating. And someone else mentioned Cruel Reality as something you can slot in. So in case you're not familiar with that one. At the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. If they can't, lose 5. That seems good. So if you're just looking to cut this package, Leyline, Helm, Cruel Reality, done. But again, I think the Chrome Mox is awkward. You could also, like, try to YOLO this without Ensnaring Bridge in the main deck, but that's probably questionable. You could also just play a bunch of Walking Ballista in the main deck to have some removal. Yeah, so that was fun. But the deck needs some work. So the issue with like Liliana and Ashiok and other Liliana is that they're black in the Ancient Tomb City of Traders deck. Which is super weird. Like, the cards are definitely up the correct power level. But I don't know. Now we're talking Arkan. Start getting into Urborg territory. Use that to help fix the mana. Yeah. So there's some food for thought if you want to have some fun with this in your local game store. All right. Let me pull up a new notepad so I don't show you a bunch of my back end stuff. This is what the queue looks like for the next little while. And I have one that was donated on stream that is not in here yet. So not necessarily in this particular order, but these are the things that I have on the to-do list. In addition to my Twitter poll here, which I'll fill other streams with from time to time. So on that note, let me throw this in the chat one more time in case you weren't around for it. Where did that go? Never mind, I'll just pull it up again. So in case you weren't here earlier for voting, I'm going to throw this link in the chat again. Please vote on this to see what some of our bonus stream rewards are going to be for getting subs. Super interested in seeing what you have to play. All right, chat. What do you want to see tomorrow? I need to do one of these two tomorrow for our donor, but I don't have to do both of his streams back to back. So would you rather see some Primeval Titan deck, or would you rather see a Splinter Twin deck tomorrow night? Two votes for Twin? I'll let it kind of go for a couple of seconds here before I make a decision. Oh yeah, we're talking Legacy Twin here, baby. We can make that happen. The people have called for Twin. We can make Twin happen. All right, thank you all for watching tonight. I really hope you enjoyed. This was a really fun stream, and I'm super fired up about Legacy. My girlfriend has a lot of play practices this week, so I'm probably going to try to stream just about every night if people are willing to continue to support my content. So thank you very much, and I'm going to go ahead and turn you over to my friend ThrabenU. I'm not sure what Jarvis is streaming, but I'm sure it's great content. Can I revise this person's list, Phil, and then donate for it to be played? Yes, Kiwi. So, like, if you're interested in this Black Stompy list and you think, hey, I've got ideas for what it should be like, I'm 100% willing to play this again. Like, this was a lot of fun. And it's awkward, but, like, this is definitely a powerful but slow combo. So the donation link is in the donations tab under the stream if you're interested in that. Reroll the Stompy? Absolutely. All right. Good night, folks. Now I'm actually going to turn you over to Jarvis. And hope to hear from you soon, Kiwi.